in the infamous words of Ozzy Osbourne, I'm staying on the rails of the sober train. I'm
He's not
staying
very good.
on the rails of the sober train.
The sober train, no. He's not really a good one to look up to, right?
Yeah, no, definitely not. I'm out of the clink early due to COVID. That apparently is something people still care about, which is hilarious.
So that's still a thing, huh?
Oh yeah,
like they're
they
testing
shut
for it and
down.
everything.
So I already told you before our audience and people who don't know how rehab works sometimes. My roommate in rehab caught COVID. He tested positive twice. It was a for sure thing. They tested me negative. I'm like, great. They're going to put me in a new room. I can move on with my day. They go,
Right.
nah, you've been exposed. So you have to
What?
stay in quarantine for 5 days. And then after that, those 5 days, you can come out, but you have to be a mask on. You can't attend meetings. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm only going to be here for another week. So what is the point of me doing that? They're like, well, you could just leave today. And I was like, that one. I'm not going to sit in here in a COVID infested room. I'm not going to sit in here in a COVID and, get the flu or whatever, just doing nothing for 5 days. That doesn't serve me at all.
So wait, they do all this without even testing you. They just say, oh, you've been exposed, so you have to quarantine.
I told you,
kind of thing.
they tested me. I tested negative.
Oh, and you tested negative. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just the fact that I was exposed.
That's ridiculous. They're still doing that. That's so nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like even after all this stuff that's come out.
Well, that's not the quote unquote science trademark. So we have to follow that above all else.
No matter what.
I mean, logic and using your brain is not part of the science. So
the science. That's so scary that how these narratives just stick around as long as they're officially on, the CDC website or the NIH website. As long as they're, we have to keep repeating it no matter what.
You know what the funniest thing is my roommate was just bitching and moaning. He goes, oh, I got all those shots and they told me I couldn't get it and I still got it. And he goes, you must have got the better shots than me. I go, bro, I never even got touched by the fucking needle.
Exactly.
He's like, it's not fair, man. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
It's not fair, man. Yeah, you should have seen through it, man. Oh, he's lucky. Anyway, let's not talk. One of our episodes got shut down because of a conversation like this. So
yeah. Anyway, this is the Uncovering Anomalies podcast.
Right. Yes.
That is, I want to believe Adam, and I'm reversing back to tippity toppity Topher until I can come up with something else. And you may notice a little bit if you are watching our stream. You may notice a little bit of a difference, a little bit more professional.
Oh yeah.
We've upgraded slightly, and we will continue to upgrade.
Yes.
As we move on.
Yeah, and it's just a little tiny thing. We used to have a logo up there, but not ours. Not ours is here. So 49th episode. I guess that's a good time to start.
My mom's favorite football team, 49ers. Go Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, that's right.
I love your dad. Ed McCaffrey, the best wide receiver. No, he wasn't the best, but he was tall and white. And as a young short, fat kid, I looked up to him.
They did well today, didn't they? I think they won.
Broncos won, yeah. 24-7, beat the Chargers.
Wow, that's a big deal.
They're still second in the division behind the Kansas City jerk-offs. I don't like, as you can tell, I'm a little bitter. I don't like the Chiefs. If we had won last week, we'd be tied for first because the Chiefs lost today too, I think. I should check my sources on that. Anyway, instead of talking about sports, because no one here is listening to us talk about sports, let's get into it. And I see you. I don't know if you did it on purpose, or you accidentally put this up early, so I knew what you're going to pull up, and I'm interested. Okay,
I did on purpose. Yeah.
So this is, as always with all Rockstar games that come out, ends up being a huge cultural phenomenon the minute it drops. So
I don't know how they do it. I have no idea how they do it. But if you haven't seen this yet, or for our listeners who haven't seen it or heard it about yet, Rockstar Games, the guys who have made GTA,
and the Red Dead Redemption games, which are some of my favorite,
and Red Dead Redemption, and man, they have so many great games. But GTA just took over after a while, especially online GTA, right? So it's good to see them come out with a new game now.
Yeah, it's a cultural phenomenon at this point.
It is. So anyway, the preview came out, so let's give it a watch. It's only a minute and a half. It's hilarious. The music, everything, huh?
Lucia, do you know why you're here? Bad luck, I guess.
I wonder what state that is, or what city.
I can't tell if you're being serious.
No, I'm joking.
Okay. It's pretty obvious.
Very obvious. For those that can't see, it's the swamps of it's the beaches of Miami, and then it looks like the swamps of
Swamps of
Florida.
the Everglades.
Yeah. The graphics are beautiful.
Yeah.
There was a girl I knew. She said she cared about me. She tried to make my world the way she thought it should be. Yeah, we were desperate then.
Of course. But it sounds like Tom Petty too, huh?
You want to hear something really funny that I saw online?
Yeah.
On YouTube, you can see what was the most watched part of this trailer.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, no, it's not.
And no, we already passed it. We just passed it, and it's super obvious what part it is if you use your brain.
Oh, the one that was right before this one right here.
Yep, that part right there.
That would make sense, of course. And Vice City, right? So, but yeah, I saw too online. Did you see that they were showing real scenes of these? Like, it's a parody of the U.S. basically.
It's actually scary how far we've come. I mean, something like it's like right here, this footage, the guy pulling the crocodile out of the pool looked. I thought that was real footage. That was nuts.
Oh my! Look. It looks so much fun.
This game looks like just Florida Man the movie.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm crinkling. I'm unpacking my dinner.
I don't know. No problem. I can't really hear it. I mean,
anyway, it looks fun.
Yeah.
It takes place in Vice City, which is the Rockstar equivalent of Miami, and older people who listen probably remember Vice City back on PS2.
Yeah, that was a great one, Vice City.
I like San Andreas a little bit better, but to each their own.
They're all great, man. And,
yeah, they're all very good. Anyway, that's not coming out for another year. And I'm actually getting really sick of companies, not just video game companies, but movie film companies do this too, where they release a trailer like a year and a half before the movie comes out.
Like there's so much work to be done, right? It's not gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be very different.
Yeah, just like why? Just
after a year.
Just wait. I don't know. All right, let's move into the real news.
Yeah. So remember last week, there was a clip we shared with Bob Woods. He owns the Majestic 12 documents, and he was a aerospace engineer, and he retired and just wanted to focus on proving this stuff real, right?
Yeah.
And he talked about this guy who invited him to the boat in Newport Beach. The guy, Joe Fermage was his name. So I did some research on this Joe Fermage guy just to figure out who he is. Like, who's this guy in the yacht in Newport Beach? This billionaire or something. And hands him a $500,000 check. And he goes, I will print these after I verify them. So, they did get printed, by the way, the Majestic 12 documents. So they were verified by this guy, Joe Ferman. So this is him. And this was from 1999, January 9, 1999, SF Gate. Joe Fermage. Oh, wait, let me read the title. CEO quits job over UFO views, advances in technology, a gift of aliens. Silicon Valley pioneer believes. Joe Fermage.
Don't quit next time.
Huh?
I said, plant your feet, dude. Don't quit next time.
I know, Rick. What is that all about? I guess he just wanted news. I mean, it was.
Wait, so is this article from 1999 or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that day. Yeah. Cool.
January 9, 1999. So
that because I saw the Fox Mulder of Silicon Valley, and for those who don't know, that's an X-File. I mean, hopefully everyone knows X-Files.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's a kind of an outdated reference. Most people would get it, but
a very 90s reference. That's a good point. So the Fox Mulder of Silicon Valley resigned yesterday from the firm he founded so he could promote his beliefs that many of today's high-tech advancements, including semiconductors, fiber optics, and lasers, come from aliens. So Fermage is the 28-year-old lasers. He's a founder of US Web, a high-profile internet consulting firm that merged recently with the Net Marketing from CKS to form Okay, a 1,950 person public company worth $2.1 billion. Clients of Santa Clara-based U.S. Web include Apple Computer, blah, blah, blah. So this guy had the money to go and do what he did, and he's the guy that wrote the $500,000 check from his yacht in Newport Beach.
Unbelievable.
I know, right? So it's cool to see that. I mean, this
Firmage,
is
hold on. Go back up. Bought that bottom little one sentence things. Firmage said his theories grew out of a year's worth of research on government documents and an alleged personal encounter with an otherworldly being. Hell yeah!
So he had an encounter. He's got a manifesto. My contact. Firmage recounts an incident that he said occurred one morning at his Los Gatos home shortly before US Web went public in 1997. A lot of this happens. It's weird like that, you know, like these rock stars talk about stuff like this, and these guys become rich all of a sudden have these encounters. So he goes, a remarkable being clothed in brilliant white light appeared hovering over my bed in my room, Firmage writes. He looked rather annoyed and asked, "Why have you called me here?" I answered with a moment's pause, "I want to travel in space. This was always my lifelong dream, and it naturally came out in a state of semi-waking thought." That's bizarre, man.
Very common amongst UFO abductees.
Why should you be granted such an opportunity? He chuckled skeptically, paused.
I don't think that's how this conversation went, but
I responded without hesitation in the only way I could have responded, given my life to that time, because I'm willing to die for it.
No. This is the storybook version. The real version is, give us your penis, and on his end it's just going
probably screaming uncontrollably. Yes.
And then later he tells his friends, yeah, aliens like came and talked to me and I was like totally chill about it.
Hey, that was a good voice. One of the documents in his purported 1947 memo. Okay, so here now it talks about the documents. Truman talking to Forrestal in 1947. Oh yeah, so it's actually talking about the Majestic 12. So here it is. So proof of that encounter that they had. The site includes, I talked about this too, Albert Einstein and Robert Oppenheimer. They wrote a letter to Vannevar Bush talking about aliens.
Man, when did things get so less groovy? All right, let's. This is
going on for a while, so
yeah, cool article. Good to see people coming forward. Wish I hadn't taken them 20, 30 years, but here we are.
Dude, I'm going to send you when this show's on. It's called Disclosure Tonight. It's pretty funny. Their shows are good, but Jack Sarfati, I sent you this. Have you ever watched him? He's a nuclear physicist, or he's a theoretical physicist, very advanced, very smart. He's got many patents, but he focuses a lot on UFOs and propulsion and aliens. And do you know him?
I recognize him. I'm
so
sure
funny.
I've seen a presentation or two. Hey, you talk through this. I got to run, and the restaurant didn't leave me a fork, so I'm forkless. I'll be right back. But get it going.
Go get it. All right, so we're gonna watch here Jack Sarfati. He's a character, and he talks about just how other people don't understand the science. He understands the science. You know, no one else knows what he's talking about, but he knows what he's talking about. So let's listen to him on Disclosure Tonight.
You want to repeat the question?
Yeah. So how do you think the UAP Disclosure Act will impact the field of UAP research, particularly in terms of public and scientific perception?
Okay. Well, I have, I'm sort of in conflict about that. Let me explain something. My professors at Cornell, Ivy League school, 1950s, 60s, they're the guys who built the atomic bomb, right? If you saw the movie Oppenheimer, Hans Bethe, who's a key guy, Hans Bethe was my tutor, was my professor at Cornell, and guys like that, okay?
Come on, Jack, be a little humble there.
And so, because of that, I think basically, because of that, essentially the CIA drafted me into this whole thing, like over 50 years ago. So none of this stuff is new to me. All right. Now, the reason I think.
basically saying none of this stuff that aliens, UFOs, that the government has craft and beings, none of that's new to him. He's been in this for decades, right? The CIA brought him in. That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's super very humble guy.
Clearly.
That the Republicans are, don't want to reveal this is because of the weapons implication. And also because they don't understand the physics behind it. And whatever people in the government, in the Defense Department, I guess, when they don't understand something, that's why they're afraid. And they're also afraid that the Russians, say, will get there before us. And of course, that fear is very good. That fear is actually justified because I was actually invited to Moscow last summer to lecture on this. I didn't go, but they wanted me to go to Moscow in July.
He doesn't look very impressed.
To Moscow State University Physics Department and give a talk about the physics of the phenomenon. So, and the thing is this, that the problem's really solved. I mean, in terms of the physics, explaining the propulsion, explaining the all the telepathy, all the.
Yeah, he's this guy, he does spam a lot though on Twitter, or it must be bots or something that he has going. But he shares his patents all the time. That they've been doing this for a very long time. It's all solved already. He'll say, I do want to skip to the stuff because he makes fun of other scientists saying like they have no idea what they're talking about.
Anyone could do that.
I know, but he does. Oh, is this where it is? Where they're talking about where they figured it out? He does put it in layman's terms, though. He's not too out there.
Drive.
Yeah.
And that's how they get here. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, this is we're seeing it right in front of us. It's happening, but people are so they're so.
So it's not like they're just going from point A to point B and just kind of getting there over a long period of time. They're going insanely fast speeds to get from point A to point B.
No, it's not speed. No, okay, no. See, now you don't know how to think about. You can't even ask the question, Robert.
You can.
If you let's go back to. I could kind of show you how, but we have to go to my slides. Let's
All right,
go back
which
to
page do you want me to go to now?
Yeah, go to the
You
slide.
can't
wanna
even
see how
ask.
now-
You can't.
keep
He goes. You can't even ask the question correctly. Very nice.
Yeah, he
guess.
seems like a really fun guy to talk about UFOs and aliens with.
The science is pretty cool. I wish we could just get to. I think it's here.
keep scanning down. Keep going down.
Well,
slow.
As we always
Slow.
do.
Keep going. Keep going.
I mean, yeah.
Keep
Unless you want to
going.
speed through this,
That's a whole other thing. Keep going.
Wait. Don't worry. He's not going to
Let's
bore
see,
anyone.
I think it's at the.
Because people that watch this show, he's on. They're not like scientists or anything, so he'll get to like easy stuff.
Wait, stop there for a minute. Stop there. Now go up one more. No, yeah, right there. That. I have the graph. I want the graph.
I got you
That
the graph. Let me go ahead and just
right
get
there.
the scroll a
That's it.
little
There we
bit,
go.
zoom up a bit
that's it.
more. There we go.
So what we see here, the graph, there's like a UFO saucer, right? And it's showing it's going through space, and there's some dip here. And I guess that's how they bend space. He'll explain it, but I'll just for our listeners, right, who can't see.
As always, everything we talk about on the show will be linked in the show notes.
It will be.
Okay, this is the work of Matt Visser. You see the flying saucer there? See the flying saucer on?
Yep.
You see, and then you see the flattened cow. That's the missile. Okay, so that's called a pressor beam. That's a pressor beam. Okay, and that's probably what they use. They may have and there's also the stressor. The stressor beam. The stressor beam will like stretch and squeeze the metal. The point is this: you can distort the metal or the logic coupler, whatever. You can distort that piece of equipment. You could okay. Do you see the way Uri?
Never mind. You know what? I'm really sorry. I don't know why I thought he's going to explain it in layman terms.
I was going to let that run out and be like, I'm even more confused now.
All right. We're going to... Oh, you sent me this.
So
it has nothing to do with UFOs, but I mean, it kind of does, yeah.
It goes along with our conspiracy angle. So hopefully everyone knows what Bohemian Grove is. All the presidents visit it and powerful people in the country, and they like worship this giant flaming owl thing.
Yep.
Anyway, this guy took a child's not canoe. What is that thing called?
Kayak.
kayak and a dirty pan, like from the
Yes.
kitchen, and paddled across a river, hiked over a mountain, went through some trees, and he was able to walk right up to this Bohemian Grove location. He was sneaking through the kitchens and stuff. It's a fascinating video. I mean, he doesn't catch anything like too weird other than the fact that it exists, but like he's there on the property.
it
He walks up.
exists.
You see,
Yeah.
you can go inside the owl. He's walking around in the kitchens and like just and like he's in the stands where everyone sits during the ceremony and stuff. If anyone who's interested, I think I might have said this on the show, maybe not. I cannot repeat the words, but I recommend everyone go look up what Richard Nixon said about Bohemian Grove.
Oh yeah, that is funny.
He had some choice words about it.
He did. And Ronald Reagan used to go to Bohemian Grove too. Obviously, he's governor of California. But this is a good spot to be. But it's yeah. And just so people know, I mean, when that owl being is supposed to be ancient Babylonian god, and they call it the cremation of care. So I think it's a lot of these humans who are feel guilty. They run the world, and I guess when they burn the effigy of something, and this owl and the cremation of care, it gets rid of their cares. Like, not to care. Don't feel guilty about what you do in the world. Keep making your money or extracting wealth from humanity. But yeah, this guy enters it and proves that it's real. I mean, Alex Jones went in there. His is one of the most famous ones.
Mm-hmm.
I just shine my light in here, and all the lights just turned on.
Obviously, some motion sensor light activated, whatever. You know what I'm talking
Look at
about.
that thing over there. Yeah. So he didn't go into this one, huh?
No, I guess not. I think he got freaked out because he tried to open the door and the lights came on. That's what he's saying. Honestly, dude, I don't think it's really worth playing this video. I mean, he doesn't, like I said, he doesn't discover anything out of the ordinary other than the fact that it's really creepy and it does exist. He doesn't find any real evidence of human sacrifices or anything like that.
No, but lots
We're
of
walking around. He finds one of the bathrooms, probably for the staff. Walking around the kitchen. Now there's apparently a small little pond in front of the statue, and then he comes to the statue here. There it is, right there. I can't believe he didn't do anything to it, but it looks like it hasn't been used since before COVID.
It does look like, he said there's hardly any water in the pond either.
Yeah. It's a reservoir, I think, is what it is.
For any longer, I might
man-made one.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing that the owl is there, there's the effigy. That's where they burn the effigy or sacrifice.
Yeah, skip up a little ahead, you can see there's stairs in the back. He walks around the owl and he finds that there's stairs that go into it. It's a pretty interesting thing.
I mean, it's have you seen one?
It's just such a weird thing that all of our powerful people are in this weird club where they worship a burning owl effigy. I mean, it's just bizarre.
Yeah, it's because, again, I guess if they are going to do all these really bad things in the world, they have to have these weird rituals to make them feel, one, together, and two, that it's okay. We're going to do a ritual and get your cares away.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I think we touched on earlier in the early episodes. It doesn't matter if you believe or don't this weird conspiracy stuff. The truth is, our elites do believe in it.
Yeah,
which is why we cover it. But also, someone in the comments of the YouTube, I think it was either that or it was on Reddit, someone was like, it looks like they've moved operations. And I kind of agree, because he's waving his flashlight around all over the place. And I have a hard time believing security would be that lax without any cameras or stuff there.
Exactly. Especially if they have heads of state and, people like that.
Hypothetically, he could have planted a bomb there and nobody would have known. I mean, that's why I don't think they're using it anymore. All right, moving on.
All right, so it was very busy last week, and we'll get to it, but this was before the news of the UAPDA, being scrapped and stuff. So there was a big push with the media to get the public on board or push Congress to act. So in Sunday World, Irish news, UFO Phenomenon, Irish scientist with top secret U.S. government clearance explains why we are not alone. We've seen him before. He's written books. He's been interviewed. He's part of OSAP. So here's a quote from him. The idea that humans are the only life form in the universe is no longer true. That there is another intelligence very close to planet Earth is a shattering experience to internalize. Very close to planet Earth, he's saying. There's an interview with him. Oh, he goes, the non-human intelligence phenomenon is real. We are not alone. Retrievals are not limited to the United States. A vast array of our most sophisticated sensors, including space-based platforms, have been utilized by different agencies, typically triplet, so three different sensors, to observe and accurately identify the out-of-this-world nature, performance, and design of these anomalous machines, which are then determined not to be of earthly origin.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I know, right? So here he's talking to, I guess this is Sunday World.
Are blowing because there have been sort of dramatic congressional hearings about the UFO topic in 2023 and starting before that. But in addition to that, Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer, who is the guy who's running the majority of the United States Senate, has introduced an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act, specifically mandating that all UFO technology that is being hidden by the United States government and with the United States or aerospace contractors, that they immediately fess up to having this technology. And it even talks about eminent domain, that the United States government will take possession of this, reverse engineered crashed UFO technology. I mean, this is not sort of something that's in the backwaters. This is the majority leader of the United States Senate who has authored this amendment.
Careful, man. Don't make him that important, because as we shall see, it wasn't that great of news, was it? And we'll just go through the painful agony here of what was going on in the background. So here's Richard Dolan. So after he told us that, everyone's proud, Chuck Schumer brings it, it's his language, it's based on this, right? So now, of course.
Hey everyone, potential new development in the UAP Disclosure Act. As you know, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was fighting to kind of protect this act. There was a lot of opposition against it, particularly from some leading Republicans. So what it looks like now is that the act may survive, but it's going to be changed. This is the information that I'm getting. I cannot confirm this, but the proposed oversight board that they had, the 9-person committee, is said to be off the table. Instead, the Senate and House Intelligence Committees are supposed to be stepping in to fulfill that role. Probably not a good development. But the main thing is that the powers of eminent domain and subpoena are said to be removed. If that's the case, that's a huge development, and it will take a lot of the power out of that act, really most of the power.
Ouch. Turned out he was right. They did, or his sources were right. I mean, they did gut the act.
I think we all saw that one coming.
Especially the eminent domain one. I mean, it's like it was put in there on purpose just so they can get it completely gutted. So now the media covered a lot. So I do want to play this because I think it's good that our media now is covering this, right? It's really mainstream. It was everywhere. And we should give them time. We should give them eyeballs just to let them know and encourage them to cover this in a very serious way, and to help the public get transparency in this.
I guess.
Right? I mean,
I don't want to give them any eyeballs.
I know, but like we need friends in this fight because it's just showing it's impossible.
Well,
right?
let's start a lobby group.
Another lobby group.
Americans for Aliens, and then we can run for office, and then once we retire, we can become on the board of whatever.
Raytheon,
we can be board members for these news corporations, and then tell them.
That's the only way to do it. I think you're right.
Way to do it.
Yeah. All right. So that's what we're doing next, everyone. We're gonna start. What is it called? I like the name.
Americans for Aliens.
Americans for Aliens. I love it. All right. And then we will. I'm sure we'll attract a lot of money, and of course, the money will be from the defense contractors, because then our job would be to hide the reality, right?
Exactly.
or say what this guy is saying here on the left, that the government is hiding something, but they have no idea what it is. Sure, dude. But we're gonna skip what he has been asked. We're gonna go to Tim. It's always fun listening to Tim's commentary on what's going on. Tim Burchett, that is, Representative Tim Burchett.
You've pushed this issue a little bit. Curious why? What got you started on this issue?
Transparency. Since 1947, they've told us these things don't exist. Yet Harry Reid funded, very well funded, millions of dollars towards research of it, and they spend a whole heck of a lot of time, effort, and money on telling the American public they don't exist, but yet they're studying. Case in point, I proposed an amendment to the FAA reauthorization bill, and it basically just said, if a commercial airline pilot were to spot some anomaly, or UFO as we used to call them, and they would issue a report to the FAA, which they would, but also that report would be made to Congress.
Sure.
Well, it was blocked. The whip told me that it was blocked, and I said, "Why was it blocked?" He said, "The intelligence community blocked it." And I said, "Wait a minute, you mean the committee?" And he said, "No, the community."
What does that mean? Because look, I've been in Washington a long time, and probably.
What does it mean to you, Topher?
That our government is corrupt as shit. Just like
and the intelligence community.
They're their own branch. That they run the show, as far as I'm concerned.
They do, and that's why these guys like Epstein, whatever, they're important to them. They're a part of what they do. It's just they need blackmail, on these people. It's the easiest thing to do. It's like
yeah,
don't do it. So of course, Tim. Let's see what Tim's going to say.
Too long, some people might say, but no. I would.
You're still a young man.
There's a part of me that says, well, this is just what the intel community. Even if they don't know something, they're afraid of admitting what they don't know. How much of this stonewall is that, do you think?
I think there's quite a bit of arrogance, but there's also a compartmentalization. You got to realize I'm from Knoxville. Oak Ridge National Lab backs up to my back door.
Right. You're well aware of national security issues.
I am. And you figure during the atomic bomb, several thousand people worked there, yet maybe 12 knew about what they were actually working. I mean, husbands and wives didn't know. I've talked to several people in my campaigning, knocking on doors.
Yeah.
They tell you that they didn't know that their wife was working on the fuse and they were working on an electrical component of the bomb. But you fast forward now, we have these committees. We had Intelligence Committee had their first open committee last year on this issue. And they brought in two people that were supposed to be overseeing it, I guess, for the Pentagon. Those guys couldn't even spell UFO. I mean, they had no knowledge, and it's just infuriating to me. We're spending billions of dollars. We give the Pentagon billions of dollars. They cannot account for 50% of their assets. And what do? We rewarded them with, I think, 20 or 40 billion new dollars this year.
Let me ask.
That's right, Tim. And the station you're on is owned by a defense contractor.
Preach it, Burchett.
I know,
Preach it, buddy.
I hope he keeps at it. We're lucky we have someone like him on the conversation.
For sure.
This is in the UK. So GBN is I guess that starts for Great Britain News. But so this is GBN America. So they this one is actually titled "Was Bob Lazar Right?" But they bring on Nick Pope and they ask him about what's going on. Again, this is mainstream coverage, and they're covering it seriously. There's no like X-Files music in the background. There's none of my like my picture I want to believe kind of stuff there. This is serious. I mean, I always see Nick Pope as a disinformation guy. I mean, that's just me, because he used to work for the MOD. He doesn't hide it. He says he always brings it up that he does. But I feel like if he's always been in the public eye, so I still feel like he works for them.
Yeah,
it's
like one of those things. Like if you get high enough level in government and then you quote unquote like quit or retire, you're never fully retired.
No, yeah, and even if it's not official, they can always call you up and say, "Hey, come on, man." There's always favors in these communities. So he gets asked here. I forget what he gets asked.
Do you think that presidents and prime ministers know the truth? Do you think that people like Donald Trump, for example, or Boris Johnson will actually be aware, have the full facts, and it's people like us, normal people, who are being kept in the dark?
Well, when I was doing this job for the Ministry of Defense, we didn't have definitive knowledge that any of this was extraterrestrial. We didn't rule it out, but we didn't have a smoking gun. We didn't have any wreckage. So I think if the United States has any of this, they didn't tell even allies like the UK. And I can understand that. I mean, the first nation on Earth to figure any of this out will be the dominant force on this planet for the foreseeable future. I mean, if extraterrestrial technology is real and somebody works out how to replicate it, it's kind of like game over. So you wouldn't even tell your friends, let alone your enemies. So we didn't have it in the UK. But I think in the United States, the president would have to know, because the president isn't just the president. He's commander-in-chief, of course, of the US military. And you can't have a situation where, for example, a threat suddenly emerges and the commander-in-chief has to be briefed from scratch.
That's a good point. So you think Biden knows?
I don't think they tell Biden a thing. I think when it's time for the quote unquote president to come out and say something, they drug him up and push him on stage. I mean, how many videos do we have of that guy going to shake hands with someone who isn't there, making just weird comments out of nowhere, apropos of nothing? I mean, the guy's completely senile.
I hope he's not the disclosure president, because that would be such a joke. I mean, if he comes out his senile ass and tries to read the teleprompter and just say it with no emotion, like it means nothing, it'll just ruin everything.
Well, and I mean, this is just me being a dick, but I don't want him and his I don't want to say cabinet, his party
administration.
Thank you. His administration to be the ones that get to take credit for UFO disclosure when they have done nothing to participate in this.
Absolutely nothing. No, just to come at the end. And he was, we'll see. I mean, it was gutted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Russell Brand's been covering this also. This was on The Hill. So The Hill had a long show, but they put a clip on Russell Brand. I'm going to share that one, but we'll share these reports too, in general. But again, The Hill, this was for what? How long is this? 11 minutes. But still, taking it seriously, talk about what's happening in the government, covering it really well, actually. So let's listen to this clip.
And reporting back what they're finding?
We have to, because the American people are not going to just trust the conclusions of the government on this conversation. That doesn't mean that we have to spill the beans on our ways and means and our technology capabilities, but the government also doesn't have the right to classify reality.
But comedian Russell Brand has another theory on the UAP discourse and weighed in on reporting that his CIA office is collecting UFO crash sites.
Paradigm shifting information, like there are extraterrestrials that have long been visiting Earth, that there are retrieved vehicles and dead bodies and presumably diplomatic relationships between human and extraterrestrial governments, ought to be changing our consciousness to an almost inconceivable degree. Yet it fits snugly within a recognizable paradigm. The information is controlled, the access to it is curtailed, the information is exploited for profit, used for military ends. That's business as usual, isn't it? Your taxpayer dollars are used for the retrieval and the operations, and then when it comes to the profit, it's handled by a private entity, pretty much like the development of certain medications or other technology that we're all familiar with. When it comes to the funding, you pay for it. When it comes to the profit, they benefit.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I'm glad that he ties it in that way, because it has infested and infected everything our government does. This secret and the way business has been done with this secret has just spilled over to other things, and it's just business as usual.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it? You get to go, hey, they're doing it. Why can't we do that?
Yeah, we can exactly. And look what COVID was. COVID was that we paid, I don't know, $1 billion, $2 billion to create those vaccines, and then they got the profit, which it was $100 billion in profits, in corporate profits.
Yeah,
just from that vaccine, just from that. Forget the other things, but we paid for it.
Yep.
Right. And just like this stuff, we paid for the retrieval of it. We give it to these corporations. They patent it and make a killing.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And that's why this secret is so important, because it goes beyond just this secret. it's just ruined our
that's
system of government.
And that seems to be the angle Burchett's looking at it. He goes, it's a transparency angle.
Yeah, transparency angle, and that we give them billions of dollars for what? We're blamed for global warming. If we really have these technologies, what? And they blame us too. Like, oh, we'll keep this secret, but then it's also your fault.
Yeah.
It's never their fault. It's okay. So obviously, it's been the UAP Disclosure Act has been gutted. The eminent domain is gone. And the other thing is gone. Oh, and the review board is gone. There was a review board also. So, and subpoena power. So anything that gave them power. I'm sorry about the sirens. Do you hear that? Okay, it's gone.
Yeah, it's all good. It happens all the time.
Okay.
No worries.
Okay. So Daniel Sheehan, he is a lawyer on our side of this on disclosure. Very well known, very competent. He was part of Watergate. And the Pentagon Papers, was that Watergate? No, that was something else, right? But he was part of the Pentagon Papers. Anyway, so his new paradigm group did a press release. He's saying, I'm putting every member of Congress, House and Senate, on notice past the Schumer Rounds Amendment. So he was threatening them.
Yeah, I just wish one of these guys could back it up.
I think he might though now, and him and Steve Basset, they're together. So the UAPDA is must-pass legislation. The public deserves the truth. It's been 80 years of lies and obfuscation from the government. This UAP phenomenon is bigger than that of any political party. I'm putting every member of Congress, House, and Senate on notice. Pass the Schumer Rounds Amendment, said Sheehan. Regardless of party, I will mobilize and rally American voters. They will demand an honest, open, and transparent government. Together, we will win the disclosure of our government's UAP secrets, and we will do so the easy way, or we'll do it the hard way. What do you think they'll choose? Probably.
I don't know. They're gonna fight it as much as possible. They're gonna choose the hard way.
Contact Jim Garrison? Is that a joke? I'm sorry. Isn't Jim Garrison the JFK lawyer?
I thought Jim Garrison was a comic. I don't know.
Oh, all right. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Like he writes comic strips. No, I'm just saying. I mean, the people that are on the other side of this have proven time after time that they can get away with whatever.
And they're very powerful.
Yeah.
Extremely powerful. So and here's Steve Basset. He goes, folks, now is the time for the victims of the truth embargo that one way or another has made fools of us all to come together and burn this abomination to the ground. Let historians sift through its ashes and move forward into the post-disclosure world. He goes, got a podcast? Call me. Hey, we should have called him.
Let's call him.
You want to call him right now? What time is it?
No, I don't want to call him right now.
No, I'm kidding, dude. Imagine. I'm sure we have to give
I can't imagine, which is why I don't want to call him right now.
So this is on his website. He's not happy. He sent this to all of his followers. Obviously, we can just see how powerful these people are who don't want this secret coming out. They didn't care what happened down there where there's hearings and passing laws. And because let's not forget, this passed the House, this passed the Senate, they passed the Intelligence Committee. Sorry. All these, I think 99% agree that on the UAP Disclosure Act gets right to the face before the president. They killed it. That's how powerful they are. They're right at the pinnacle, right? They don't need anything else, anyone else, right?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I love to see people, taking the charge head on, but I mean, they're not gonna be able to accomplish anything. I mean, I know I'm a pessimist, but holy, how many times do we have to see this story over and over again?
And we've never gotten this far either. And I can't stand the people that say that this is a psyop, that aliens and UFOs are a psyop. Yes, it could be used, but no, the original psyop is that they don't exist. That there's no aliens. That's the OG of all psyops. It's like the one we're founded on, So Stephen is upset, Stephen Basset, and he goes here. There are dozens of witnesses ready to testify before the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. Senator Warner is the chairman. Senator Marco Rubio is the ranking member. The testimony of most will equal or surpass that of Major David Grush. 1 week of morning and afternoon sessions with these witnesses under oath will blow the truth embargo wide open. That sets the stage for the president to formally end the truth embargo immediately. Disclosure. After that, the UAP Disclosure Act could be easily reconsidered and passed. So they're still trying. I'm glad that we have people that are just not giving up.
Yeah, that's one positive out of this, I guess.
That's the only way to do it. So even PBS now, what the hell's? Wait a minute, they're trying to block me.
No, you've got shop highlighted up top. It's a drop down menu. See?
Oh, thank you.
You're supposed to be the computer guy.
Well, because I got 3 screens here. Bear with me.
I've got 3. My TV's on. My phone's right next to me, and I'm looking at my laptop.
Well,
coming up next on Headline Humboldt, faculty from Cal Poly
Headline
Humboldt
Humboldt.
joined
Where is he?
to manipulate the firearm slide.
Roswell.
There we go.
About the UAP. I called it a truth embargo. It's not a cover-up. It's a truth embargo. It's embargoed the confirmation of that, while, of course, the awareness of it has grown worldwide. On June the 5th, Major David Grush, retired, who was working for the UAP task force, came forward on News Nation and stated that firsthand witnesses had told him that they were working with non-human technology, crash vehicles, and were aware of non-human bodies that were obtained from those vehicles. This amounted to informal confirmation of the extraterrestrial presence right there. That created a very serious problem for the people that were writing and putting together the 2024 National Defense Authorization Act, and I'm talking about the UAP section, right? The UAP, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, is now currently the phrase that is used legally.
Yeah.
Because he's informally just confirmed the ET presence. He's confirmed Roswell. As a result, 39 days later, and 12 days before David Grush restated what he had given to News Nation under oath before a House Oversight Committee subcommittee, Chuck Schumer made a bold move. He, along with Mike Rounds, indicated that they were putting a huge additional section into the bill, which had already had an initial section put in I think, July 14. And this section was a significant thing in which it gets into a domain, the eminent domain of any non-human tech. Literally, any that non-human tech out there that David Grush was referring to, the United States government owns it, and we have the right to take it. And
I guess, yeah, in that sense, if it was given by the government to a non-government organization, then can the government come get it back? I mean, I guess you can argue for that,
I mean, I don't know. It really doesn't. I mean, I don't think it's relevant just because of how closely our government and the big corporations, Raytheon, whatever, Boeing, I mean, they work so closely with the government anyway. It's not going to be like, hey, we're taking this back. It's, hey, what's progress on this looking like?
Yeah. It's just so frustrating. Like, even though with all these connections and generals and ex people from the government, it's just the secret just keeps going on. It doesn't matter what activists do. This is on PBS too. It's not like it's a long interview, but I guess before it was gutted, obviously. Is there a date on here? Season 4 aired 12/8. Oh, that was aired. It was aired 2 days ago, but so it was recorded before it was gutted. So he was still in good mood. That's gonna work.
Ah, boy.
Oh man. Yeah, we won't play this obviously, but I am going to put in the notes because it's important. This is only 3 years ago, but it's a 5-hour deep dive. Richard Dolan about the Wilson Davis memo that leaked. And it if you listen to this interview, and it was right before the congressional hearings, the Wilson Davis leak really helped push our politicians to at least start this process. It's crazy that we're here actually talking about that. We had such a strong Disclosure Act in law that was passed, but then just scrapped at the end. How is that legal?
Pretty
When you
sad.
think about it, like how legal is that?
It's
So
not.
what's the point? What's the
Right.
point?
That's my whole point. That is my point. Is that's why we're not going to get anywhere with this, because the intelligence community is
Yeah.
going to find a way to to sideline it always.
And it's a psyop. That's why it's all government stuff, Topher. It's
Yeah,
not
huh.
aliens. And this came up this week. It was 100 Years of Connecticut Sightings with Linda Zimmerman. So it's the Danbury Public Library. They gave this presentation. I guess they're in Connecticut. And they go through so many sightings. There was one from 1908. We can just listen to that one. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But to those that say it's always been human, and yeah, I would say 90%, if not more, are now human.
Mhm.
Would make sense, but not back then. Especially not at the amounts that they were seeing. So this presentation gives a lot of those. Goes through a lot of them. She starts from the early 1900s. So this one's from 1908.
Can see there's one in Connecticut there. That was Bristol, Connecticut in July of 1908. A large airship sailing very high. Now, I put in here the record. The Wright brothers had set the record in the end of 1908 of 360 feet. We often don't think about, we take altitude for granted. There was no craft that we had other than sending a balloon that would go up and you couldn't maneuver, that could go very high. It passed over the eastern part of town, and you can see it was maneuvering. It wasn't just floating, headed toward Waterbury, and it says it stopped over lake compounds, circled as if looking for a place to land. Very interesting. Headed north over Walcott Mountain. Maybe some of you know where these places are. And people ran up the mountain to see this craft because they thought for sure it has to land. And it said nothing could be learned of its identity. It just disappeared.
A
So
mystery.
again, there just were no aircraft that could do that.
Why Connecticut gets a lot of these. I remember she goes even through the 80s and 90s. I just remember even thinking about knowing about Connecticut because of the ones in the 90s and even 2000s or 80s. There's some cool cases. I don't know why Connecticut. Like
Of all places.
I've never been there. So
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know. This came up too, even though it's only a year old. But this guy, he's a biblical scholar and researcher, and the Vatican uses him. And this comes up a lot too with the discussion of UFOs and what we're looking at and why it's kept secret. And so this one's pretty cool, and it's about the word Elohim, which is in the Bible, the Hebrew Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And some people say Elohim means God, right? But then if you really look into the translation of it, Elohim is God's plural. And also people who know Arabic can also know that Ilah would be singular, or and then so Elohim would be plural with the addition of that im. So this guy came up with that, but then he's speaking with another researcher on this interview, and he also found out something very similar. So I would say that there's an issue with the whole NHI and disclosure project or disclosure process is because it has to do with religion. And you know how sensitive people get with religion,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I do.
They get crazy and fanatic.
I think if this was like the late 90s, early 2000s, that would be excuse, but people are walking away from religion left and right.
Yeah, I mean they're shutting down churches in most places, in many cities. I don't see that around here. Maybe because the weather's so great, or they feel great.
Well, and
because people are older here. I don't know.
But I just like it. I mean, I guess if you're like Bible thumping religious, and they're like, "Oh, aliens exist," you're going to go like, "Oh, they're demons," yada yada yada. But your average churchgoer is just going to be like, "Oh, aliens exist, so God made aliens too. That's pretty neat."
Yeah,
I don't know. I have a hard
exactly.
time there'd be like some mass hysteria over it. I mean, you'd get people who would obviously go nuts, but we've already got that. I mean, look at
Then it's the control. Well, it's the control structure then too of the religions, because that will dissipate. So if there's human beings that sit on top of that system, which we know there are, and it's based on a certain worldview, and then And then you say that aliens, could have influenced the religions of the world. It kind of ruins that power structure and influence. So, that's a reason also. So I don't think it's the fact that aliens would exist, or they would have told us. Why don't they just tell us that? We're not asking. They're saying national security. We don't care about the technology. Why don't you just tell us that aspect of it? They won't, because it's too much. It just hurts their control structure. So I think I stopped at the right place. Not to what the Italian says, but what the interviewer says.
From Italy.
Paul Wallace.
I'm very happy to be in conversation with Mauro on these topics because my own research journey in the Eden series had brought me to very similar conclusions. And it was initially the issues around the word Elohim, the plural form of the word Elohim, that broke me out of my old world of narrow Christian orthodoxy to a point of view from which I can see that the Bible is not a book about God in the way I thought it was, but it is actually representative of a kaleidoscope of entities from the beginning of the Hebrew canon to the very end. Now, the word Elohim is the Bible's oldest word that gets translated as God. But as Mauro has pointed out, it is a masculine plural form that takes plural verb forms. And as I
Yeah, and just think about it now. Even the Quran has like, "We created you, we did this." They'll say it's the plural. What is it? The royal plural or the royal we?
The royal we,
yeah. There's a lot of that in there too. And that hasn't. Yeah. Anyway, so again, a great interview with great information in there. I think has a lot to do with the secret and why we just won't. It's just, for some reason, it's a big factor. And the secrecy. That's my opinion. I do push it a lot now, especially with people that are, conceived or shown as chosen.
Well, I remember this is tangentially related. I remember going to church school on Wednesdays when I was growing up. It was just. But anyway, I remember every once in a while we meet with the priest. I remember one of the things I always had a problem with growing up with religion was, the Bible is taken as,
literal.
Well, sometimes,
Word of
not
God.
always.
Word of God.
Well, no. What I'm getting at is my question to the priest was, well, how can we possibly know there's no embellishments or stuff made up or stuff gotten wrong in the Bible if it was written so many years ago, and it's been translated, and stuff's been added and taken out, and the answer I got was very unsatisfactory. Was that it's the word of God, and that there's no man that would be evil or dumb enough to screw that up.
Do that. Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we would get like stop questioning. If we start questioning too much, it's like, well, stop asking those questions.
Yeah,
would be And anyway, like Ryan Graves said in that last interview, he said that no one should have the right to obscure reality. Like, if someone has new information on reality, it should be shared with humanity. It shouldn't just not right. It used to be like that, when this country was founded, or at least when Western civilization was growing.
So you've got a video queued up here, which I sent to you. I'd love it if you full screen this. So this guy posted on TikTok that a balloon is falling. He's a janitor at a high school, and there would have been a birthday party or something. I think you should keep the audio on, but you can skip ahead until he actually goes in the classroom. He's talking, he's holding his phone up, and he goes, I don't know, man. I keep on turn the volume on. It's for his
You want me to turn it on? Okay.
Yeah.
Just to, I don't know, let you guys know this school was built on a cemetery.
Okay, that I didn't see this one before. That's hilarious. Just to let you guys know, this it was built on a cemetery.
This
All
whole
right.
country's built on a cemetery, my man.
That's true.
I don't know if that helps my situation or not, but previous janitors that have worked here have tried to tell everyone that, every night something happens. some spooky shit. I don't know, paranormal or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I didn't really believe him until tonight. I was in here cleaning up after some students had thrown a party, but it's been freaking me out is this one right here.
Oh my God.
No matter where I'm at in the classroom or what I decide to do, it just follows me. And do your thing, you stupid balloon.
It's a weird thing, you
Got
stupid
you on
balloon.
camera now, so let's just see that right there.
It's moving.
Hold on, you gotta watch the whole thing. It's wild. Of course, it's a red balloon.
Of course, yeah.
No,
Perfectly
what?
red.
Watch. He leaves the classroom and it follows him out. It's awesome.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
It gets better.
See, no.
No.
Okay, and then make sure to watch the background here as the video wraps up.
It just follows me no matter what. Ooh.
Screw that.
No, I can't.
I can't. I just leaves.
As with all ghost videos, likely fake, but it's very well done.
It's very well done. Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, no one was in there, obviously. But, you know, with AI.
I don't
these
think it's an
tools,
AI.
so-
That looks like a practical something to me. Like maybe he's got a piece of
Or
fishing line,
cloaking.
thin fishing line, like taped to the side of it. Or, I don't know. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
really very cool, very spooky video. I love it.
Especially the shadow at the end. That thing was
Yeah.
like.
That looked
all
like
right.
CGI. Shadow thing looked like CGI. All right, let's move on.
It could have been. So U.S. Space Force. This came out today, actually. So U.S. Space Force reveals thousands of UFOs orbiting Earth are causing potential threats. Report, of course. They need more funding, probably. Established during the Trump administration to explore UFOs and space anomalies. I didn't know that. The Space Force has encountered thousands of such objects, creating a challenge in threat identification. The agency's primary mission, according to the Daily Mail. I think it's an area of space where they don't have any sensors. The safety and security of space. So the Space Force document also touches upon the detection of patterns of life and objects that exhibit abnormal observables without specifying the meaning of these terms. The report stresses the importance of swiftly identifying and responding to threats, including those exhibiting abnormal behavior and patterns of life without clear ownership of or origin. So that's nuts, huh?
That's fun. Yeah.
Abnormal observables or patterns of life. So patterns of life often refers to thermal heat signatures emitted by living human targets. Oh, so it could be human.
I'm reading the article. Included a chart indicating that there are now 25,000 objects orbiting Earth. Yeah, we need to. That's probably what the Space Force is going to branch off to: is space garbage cleanup. I would happily be a space. I've said when people ask me what my dream job is, space trucker. I would happily be a space garbage man too.
Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. Yeah. That's your job, to get out into orbit every single day and just clean up and seeing the Earth there and like look out and seeing the stars. I'd love it too.
Yeah, and you're probably like chopping up old satellites and like throwing them in some sort of crusher at floating.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Exactly. No, I agree. That would be a fun job. So DARPA Moon Tech Study selects 14 companies to develop a lunar economy.
Oh man, have you been? I think I've asked you. Have you watched For All Mankind? Do you know what that is?
Yes, I watched the first 2 episodes, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, it's like
I didn't mind
season.
it.
It's like season 4 or 5 now. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
that's what this reminds me of because the show starts back in the 60s and it's coming up,
Right.
starting to catch up to modern day.
And people that know about the breakaway civilization, we've been there and we've been across the
Yeah.
entire solar system since the 80s, right?
Well, that's not what the show's about, but
No, I know, but I'm saying here, like when you read this.
yeah, I'm still on the fence about that whole thing.
So Luna 10 has the potential to wait, you're on the fence of what? A breakaway civilization?
So we've been all around the solar system.
Oh wow! After all this, huh?
Yeah, I don't know how you could hide something like that. You'd have to train multiple scientists who are sworn to secrecy. They can't tell their wives, husbands, kids. And hey, Dad, where'd you go for the last 6 months? Or sorry, year and a half? Because I don't know if we've got the technology. Well, this is what I'm saying. This would be a good sci-fi book. Yeah, I went to Neptune. I can't tell anyone about it, and I've got PTSD because there were bug creatures out there.
But they, like Rolls Royce. So for that project, the lunar project,
Mhm.
one of the things that came out of it is that Rolls Royce plans a 120-inch long mini nuclear reactor for moon outpost. So 120-inch is not that long, but it's a nuclear reactor that will power the entire lunar colony. I guess. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It is really cool. They
I
won't
would-
they won't give our neighborhood stuff like this, but if you're going to the moon, you can have it.
I would also be a moon trucker if that was available.
Some regions of the moon's southern pole have remained untouched by sunlight for billions of years. So yeah, so I guess they need nuclear energy.
Yeah.
One big ration. Anyway, really cool. So I was having a conversation with someone earlier about this. I mean, I remember George W. Bush going to NASA and giving speeches about going to Mars and I don't know what. And that was 2 decades ago. And nothing happens ever. So yeah, this is great. Maybe DARPA hasn't been behind it like this before. So I guess that's good
Well, this
news.
is why this is why I'm all for. I know everyone rags on billionaires for going to space, but this is why we need to privatize the space industry.
Yeah.
Because our government clearly can't get it done.
Right. It's just all talk for them to just take money and charge money. Burchett says it all the time. They just want more money to study it.
Yeah.
And he's right. The tiny reactor, which is claimed to be 3.3 feet in width and 10 feet in length, is not yet able to generate any electricity. If all goes as planned, it will take roughly 6 years and several $1 million to prepare the reactor for its. Oh, so the concept. I can do that.
I can draw napkins too, make all sorts of concepts and write articles about them.
And charge the government $2 billion to do it.
Oh, whoops! It won't be done by 2040 now. Thanks for asking, though.
Yeah. Sorry,
More-
government. Here
more
goes.
money.
Aims to create a functional reactor by 2030. Base camp. I mean,
Why is Rolls Royce leading the charge on this?
I know, right? I guess they have something then. That's why.
Yeah.
Micro reactor. May also provide power and propulsion for spacecraft. Yeah, they've been talking about that too. Micro reactor. Very cool.
Mhm.
That's what we need to be talking about. Oh, and what about these?
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say these came from 4chan, and I don't anything, and I've said this before, anything that comes from 4chan, huge grain of salt. And this to me could easily be 2 burnt corpses.
Oh yeah, they look
Human
like it,
corpses.
actually. When you look at it, yeah, you can't discern anything. It says here, figures discover. Wait, what does that say?
I don't.
I
Click on
figured
it.
I was able to. No, it doesn't go into it.
What if you hit that thing in the top right corner? Right
This?
there. Yeah.
No, that's Google visual search.
Wait, click and drag up so you can like maybe move the picture around. No, huh?
No, that's the end. That's the end of it right there. There's another picture too. If I go back.
Anyway, what we're looking at for those listening, not watching. Oh yeah, here's the other picture. 2, I'm assuming they're old. They're supposed to be mummified or something. Corpses of something that vaguely looks alien, and they blacked out the private parts.
Look where they're blocking it out, though.
I know. That's what I just said. They blacked out the private parts.
No, I know, but look, like I mean, this is the middle area, but like they block it out here. That's just hilarious. And look how long it is.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it looks like someone was burned.
Anyway, cool photos. I doubt it's anything. This looks like, and it looks like pictures were taken in the 50s or something.
Figure 13, recovered body, something. I can't read this here.
Comatose? That can't be right.
Right.
Digitally, no, I don't know. No, that's not digitally. I don't know. But see, this is why you don't take. This is why you take everything from 4chan. I mean, anyone could have pulled these pictures up, and they clearly cut off the bottom labels so you can't see what the picture is. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. It could have been a police report.
Yeah.
I demand to see the unredacted genital pics. Give us the space junk. Cosmic camel toe.
That's pretty good.
Metagalactic.
All right, go to. I want to see the other top comments. This is just stupid Reddit bullshit that I don't care about.
How do I?
Just go down to the. See that line on the left that's vertical? You got to follow that line down. Yeah, that one. And that'll be the next top-rated comment whenever we get there.
If I just press it?
I don't know.
Oh no! What did I do?
Oh no, that's perfect. What's text on the bottom? Okay, figure 13th, recovered body, comatose, not biologically active.
Bot biological. Oh yeah. Figure 4 deceased remains. Figure 13 recovered body, comatose yet biologically active.
Click that line again. The one on the left, right there. There are no comma about the merest place. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that's all everyone's talking about.
I fucking hate Reddit. Okay.
They should blur the face and show the.
All right, moving on. This is dumb.
It is pretty dumb. Oh, so this was debunked. Well, kind of, but yes.
Yeah. So we've been talking about the MH. What was it? 840.
370.
370. Wow. 370 flight for several weeks now because of the new footage that was quote unquote leaked or found. This guy did a lot of digging and took the video that was leaked and was able to find like where the clouds came from, as in this is a created footage because he was able to find where the clouds had been generated in a different project altogether.
Yeah, and they found the guy that originally made took these photos. So here they are here. Too much of a match. Even Ashton Forbes, who's been spearheading this, and he was on InfoWars, he was on Kim Iverson. I mean, everyone had him on,
Mm-hmm.
and he had to say, yeah, it's too coincidental, and even if it's fake or whatever, or the NSA doing something strange, which they can online, they can just create whatever reality they want on there.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it because it shows that how serious they are, at covering this up. If it's that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but it's good to see that he moved on. He's still in spaces. I heard him talking on another space before, so it's not like he's hiding or anything. So cool guy, man. Good on him.
Yeah.
For not hiding after this happened.
Sometimes you've got to take the L.
Yeah, just move on. So people were saying it was only in 2016. Anyway, they found out that those images were taken in 2012.
Yeah.
So we're getting towards the end here. You sent me this official trailer. I don't know if you want.
Okay, so I meant to send you the Wikipedia link. So this is based on a true story. Do you know about this?
I have no idea. No idea.
I first heard about this on last podcast on the left years ago. So there was this family in the Isle of Man that claimed that there was a talking mongoose named Jeff, spelled G as in goose, E as in elephant, F as in, I don't know, fat.
Oh man,
and it was a talking mongoose that was devilish, not evil, but it would steal things, it would taunt people, it would tell secrets. Like there's one story where it's a married couple and their daughter. The married couple were about to get a little randy, and the mongoose ran into town and started telling everybody that they were about to get it on. It's like poltergeist stuff, not the movie, not the movie Poltergeist. People who report actual poltergeist,
paranormal stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, and so Nandor Fodor was a real person, Anyway, this is the trailer for the movie. I watched it. I'd give it about a 7 out of 10. It would be it's fun. But just like the real life story, there's no true conclusion to it.
That's so annoying.
But yeah, Jeff the Talking Mongoose. Let's play the trailer.
All right.
I am Dr. Nandor Fodor.
The world's foremost parapsychologist.
I am not a skeptic.
This is the strangest case I have ever encountered.
A family living in a farmhouse claim a talking mongoose lives in their barn. Creature's name is Jeff.
What do you think about them?
A talking mongoose.
The Irving family are peculiar.
Did you observe this creature?
No.
No.
I did hear it.
We are going to the Isle of Man. I have almost 20 years of research in this field.
You're here to see Jeff.
Is the creature here?
Well, because we can't see him, doesn't mean he ain't here.
I see.
The daughter is a ventriloquist.
Dr. Fodor has a tremendous skepticism indeed.
This is an inexplicable farce.
I'd say the wee rascal's probably watching us right now.
Everybody on this island has their Jeff story. Tell me yours.
You and I both know there ain't no Jack.
Garden State, clear state. Can you tell him to come out so we can see him? Is that him there?
What is the Irving's motive? It strikes me as con artists.
We hear with our eyes as much as we do our ears.
These people are lying.
I think he exists. I'm certain of it.
Just show yourself. I mean you no harm. Please. Jeff! Just show me that you're real.
Dr. Fodor, here's a call for you. It's from him.
Hello?
Tomorrow I shall let you see me.
So, how's it inconclusive? They just
So
they don't
this
know
whole-
how
I mean,
it was done.
Right. So okay. I mean, obviously, this movie takes liberties, and I don't remember the whole story particularly well. It's inconclusive because they weren't able to prove or disprove it. I mean, they were simple farming family. I mean,
Yeah.
the daughter was said to be intelligent and a ventriloquist, but they would hear in real, and if you believe the guys that went to disprove the story, they were hearing voices in different parts of the house from where the girl was staying, like away from her room.
Yeah.
So she'd be in her room and they'd hear the mongoose like out in the barn or something. And it's just it's a very the Wikipedia article is not that long. I recommend taking a look at it because it was
Okay.
a pretty big deal for the time. I think I want to say 1908, but I might just be thinking that because we were looking at that thing in Connecticut.
And why a mongoose, huh? Out of all
Well, it
things.
wasn't really a mongoose. Well, who knows what it freaking was. But like they had the hair tested. Because the Jeff would leave them tufts of hair. It would stuff would go missing or would be replaced. There was a story, I think they cover it in the movie. I might just be remembering it from the movie, where one of the other families in the village, they left like I think some sort of dried fruit suspended, like hanging from the ceiling in the middle of the room, and they woke up in the morning and the fruit was gone. Like so, that's
So
weird
pranks,
enough.
yeah. How weird.
Yeah,
Great.
it's a-
I'm definitely gonna look into it.
It's a fun movie, and the trailer tries to make it look like scary, but it's not scary at all.
It's not okay. All right.
No.
It's more funny. So a
Yeah.
7 out of 10. That's not bad. 7 out of 10.
It's not bad. And Simon Pegg, the guy who's playing Nandor Fodor, he's one of my favorite actors of all time. So I had to, as soon as I saw this movie was a thing, and I hadn't even heard of it, I was like, oh shit, I gotta watch this. Like,
I didn't know you liked him.
have you seen Shaun of the Dead? Right?
Which one is that one again?
It's the zombie movie that came out like at the end of the zombie movie era, where it's the guy, his girlfriend breaks up with him, and then a zombie outbreak happens, and they're trying to go to the pub because they think that's the safest place to hide, and it's just
Oh yeah, that's hilarious, man. Yeah, I know.
and
who he is
then
now. Yeah, I know. who he is.
Hot Fuzz is one of my favorite movies. That's hilarious. That's where he's like a hardcore cop from the city that gets transferred to this tiny little sleepy town, and it's like him trying to cope with living in this small town. That's a lot of fun. And then The World's End is the last of those three movies. It's the
World's
same
End,
same
yeah.
director and mostly same cast. That one's good too. That one's really good. Anyway, yeah, I love Simon Pegg.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I know exactly who he is. He's great. Just one more thing before we go.
Okay.
About AI. So this recently came out about DeepMind. So this is from SingularityHub.com. It's so using a popular machine learning strategy, the AI, this is Google's AI, DeepMind. The AI found 2 million chemical structures and 380,000 new stable materials, many counter to human intuition. The work is in order of magnitude expansion of the materials, what we currently know, the authors wrote. So
now, is this what is materials referencing here? Like something other than metal,
like aluminum? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So it's figured out how to put these different chemical structures away and create new material. Just how we've been looking at these UFOs and not understanding their material and how they work. Now because we have AI, it's a possibility that we can start creating these materials to traverse space and do whatever they do. 2020, and a lot of people say 2024 is just going to be insane. That's the rumor, at least. So with this coming out, I mean, things are going to change quick. I don't know how you can control this with these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, maybe my space trucker dream will come true after all. I can deliver some of these materials to the colonies on Mars.
Hey, put it out there. I'm putting it out there too. Yes, I would not mind that job at all.
I mean, it's a lot of downtime, and I feel like all you have to do is like check out the controls every couple days to make sure you're still on course.
Yes, it'll
But
probably be
still,
AI doing mostly everything. Yeah,
the hazard pay alone would probably be just huge.
Hazard pay, yeah.
I'm a single guy, no kids. I don't have to worry about anything. I just live on a spaceship.
Yeah, and exactly. And you would be less of a risk hiring anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Just get ready for it. I think the space economy is brand new. I've invested in a few companies. Pre-IPO, of course, is a great website. Damn it! Of course, I forget the name, but it's crowdfunding. But it's for these cool technology companies like this. There's a bunch of ones in space too, like cleaning up garbage.
Nice.
Space. Yeah.
Hopefully they're hiring. Well, I know sometimes NASA will do, or I mean, I remember reading about it years ago now, where NASA will essentially hire you to go out in the middle of the desert with like 10 other people in a habitat that simulates what it'd be like on Mars. So anytime you leave the hab, you'd have to put on a suit and all that.
Yeah.
You want to
Very
study
cool.
like the psychological what it would do to be isolated like that with certain people over a long period of time. I would do that. I think
have an outpost, a human outpost.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I mean, these things were like.
I don't mind isolation very much. I don't mind it too. Although I've not been isolated in like the middle of the forest. Have I ever? I don't know. I've never done camping by myself, or desert. But by myself, nah, never. So I don't know how that actually feels like.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know if I can do it either.
Once the apocalypse happens, my man, you're gonna have to.
I know. Well, a lot of people say if you do want religious experiences, stuff like that, spiritual, like high, you have to go alone at least 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the best way to probably see a UFO or alien.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I know the answer to this. The newest, you didn't see the newest Y-Files, right?
Which one was? No, I think I did. Was it about that guy? It was a story, right? Yeah, about the aliens
with the robots.
The robot. Yeah.
Oh, you did see it. Yeah. See,
I did see it.
He was out hunting, but he had got isolated from his group, and he was by himself up a tree. That's the only way. That's the only way you're going to see a UFO.
I know, right? Alone and just freaking out. Maybe he hallucinated that, just freaking out, because it was a bizarre story.
Very bizarre story. Yeah.
AJ thinks he made it up or something, or is because it was the robot was 60s style.
Yeah, but I think if you believe in the psychological nature of UFOs and aliens, and if my theory about our brains kind of act like antennas picking up waves. You
Mhm,
know, you're going to
mhm.
see what your brain can make sense of.
Yeah, we're half the reality, half of the phenomenon.
And you know, when he, you know, the guy obviously, you know, wasn't into a bunch of weird robot sci-fi stuff, so his brain plucked the only robot he could relate to, and that was something
Yeah.
that was recognizable.
I mean, yeah, imagine putting yourself in that scenario. You're going to recognize only things that you know. If it's something you don't know, you'll just not. Yeah, like you said, your brain will plug in something
Yeah.
that's familiar.
I mean,
like airships.
and you know, the government took the arrowheads and stuff. I guess that's also hearsay.
Yeah, is
Anyway,
it?
yeah,
It's a study
I'm trying to
thing.
remember if that was proven or if that's just what he told, or that's what AJ said the guy said. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
crazy that he took that case. I mean, at this point, he's going to have to start, doing case by case now because he's covered all the big ones, mostly.
Yeah, our man AJ.
Oh man, it's crazy. He comes out with an episode. I'm like, what? 1.5 million views already? It's
Well,
insane.
he does it in a week, and he's got high production values. And
Yeah,
he has
yeah,
to-
yeah.
I'm assuming it's him who voices Hecklefish.
Oh yeah, for sure, that's him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say 100%, but I'm 99% sure it's him.
Yeah.
You can hear it. You can hear his voice.
Listen, people. Anyway, good as always. Go check out the Y Files. Probably
Yes,
the best
check out the
thing on
website.
YouTube right now.
Tell him we sent you. Uncovering Anomalies
Tell
Podcast.
him we sent you in the comments section. Scroll
Yes.
down, hit new comment, and type in, "Wow, great video, AJ. The boys over at the UAP, the Uncovering Anomalies podcast, sent us your way." And then he'll
Yes.
listen to us and go, "Man, these two are professionals. I should interview them on my show." And then we get famous and super
Yeah.
rich.
Actually, do that on all of the shows that we cover here. So, go on Disclosure tonight, do it there. Alien Scientists, do it there too. Let's see, who else do we we sent to? Richard Dolan, tell him that we sent you we sent you there.
Spread the good word. Go under any open up your, here's my call to arms. Open up your YouTube right now. First video on there, click it. Go to comments. Comments disabled, go to the next one, so on and so forth. In the comments, say UAP sent us, the Uncovering Anomalies podcast sent us. I want to believe Adam and Topher. Do that for the first 10 videos in your feed, and we'll grow exponentially.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you can support us with that link, we have it at the end of every single show. Some activism would help us a long way. And by the way, Apple Podcast has now surpassed Spotify traffic.
Really?
So a lot of our traffic. Yes. So now that is the main platform that we get our customers from, or listeners. Sorry,
customers.
Oh
boy,
I know.
Leave that one.
Yeah, I know. and then Google's is like number 3 or 4 now. So that came out of nowhere. We've seen a lot of traction there.
And hey, man, I mean, down the road, if we can buy a studio and do this full time, where we're putting out multiple videos a week, or I mean, maybe some videos, maybe some podcasts, we
Yeah.
could just do this full time. That'd be great.
Dude, that'd be so much fun, and have
Get more
everyone that we
professional equipment.
and have everyone that we listen to and research, and all these researchers, and ask them and interview them about their lives and their investigation, with their passions, and would love to do that, but we're just regular Joes, 9 to 5s.
We can hire one of those guys that sits in the booth, and we go, "Hey, so and so, pull this one up."
Yeah, there'll be an intern, of course, and interns last a month
Yeah.
usually.
And unpaid for sure.
Oh, of course, unpaid. Unless we get lots of supporters, and it's different.
Right.
We'll allocate some of that.
I don't believe in paying interns, so we'll have a fight about that later.
Okay, maybe tips. All right, or bonuses, weekly bonuses if they did well.
No, like a slice
None of
of
that.
pizza every other month or something.
Okay, that's considered a bonus.
Yeah.
So
Pizza
Apple is
party.
28%. 28% of our traffic's from Apple Podcasts now.
No kidding. The only downside about Apple and why I prefer Spotify is for podcasts like ours on Spotify, you can actually watch what we're looking at.
Yeah, true.
And see all the stuff that you can't normally see. Like that balloon video. Whew.
That was pretty freaky the way it followed him out.
It followed him out the door and down the hallway.
I know, it's freaky.
Really
So
good fake, if it's fake.
60% of our traffic is American, and then we got United Kingdom at 15%, And then we got the Canucks, Canada, and at 8%. The Australians at 7%. And then we have the Europeans, Sweden, Germany, New Zealand.
Oh, the Kiwis.
Then Denmark, then Israel. Oh, that's a shocker there. Then Netherlands.
They're not going to be listening to us much longer. I'm sure. I'm
Very
just
longer, I know.
Kidding,
Yeah, I know. We love them. We love them. United Arab Emirates is also there. France, Hungary, Portugal, Spain. The list is pretty crazy.
We're international, baby.
Yeah, mostly English speaking world, but then we got the Swedes and the Germans that are high up there. So welcome everyone.
I don't know any Swedish or German, so this one goes out to our one Spaniard. Hola, mi amigo.
Oh, no, mi Do you know any Italian?
Pizza, spaghetti, ravioli,
spaghetti, lasagna al forno.
I think it's pronounced lasagna.
Lasagna, huh? So wait, the French are up there too. Oh yeah, oui.
Wait, you said Germany, right?
Yeah, German is after.
What does Schnell mean? Schnell.
I have no idea what Schnell is, but our grandfather went to he was a army vet and he went to Germany and he used to tell us about that. He used the word. Apparently, it doesn't mean anything. That's what my brothers told me. He's
really?
Rausmith, which means to get out of the room or something. Rausmith.
Hold on, I'm looking up Schnell just in case it means something like it's like racist or Schnell.
Schnell as in SCHNEL.
I don't know. It's German. I'll try SCHNELL.
Schnell meaning, translate German. Schnell means quickly.
Oh,
quick,
that
fast.
makes sense. Schnell. Like
Schnell. Well, that's our German for today.
Man, we are going to lose everyone who is not an American after this episode. Sorry, hi international community. Bye international community. We love you guys.
Right? We are very well traveled, though.
We are. I have been to. I've been to the town next to us. I went to the bathroom earlier today.
Nice.
There was a point where I was in the living room, so I'm well traveled. No, but I have been to many countries.
Yeah, you have, and South America. I haven't been to South America. You've been there.
I technically am allowed to say back in Nam because I went to Vietnam.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did.
I had such a great time there, man. The people were so friendly. Well,
Dude.
Everyone is friendly, but there's a stark contrast between North and South Vietnam.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it still like that where they're like commies in the north and
no, I think it's a united country. It's just it's a lot of you can see where the influences were from other parts of the globe, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean no, I'll keep that one to myself.
So where do you think we're going now with disclosure since now it's been kicked out? They basically done nothing, and apparently they've made it harder now to find things on UFOs with the new law that they passed.
I think what's going to continue to happen is what we've been seeing over and over and over again. There's going to be people like Burchett who are going to try and spearhead a movement to release it, and it never will.
And get smacked down.
And I think they're really hoping that all of the UAP UFO interest dies down after a couple of years. The election's coming up. I can't imagine. I mean, maybe it'll happen, but I can't imagine they're going to ask any questions to the candidates, whoever ends up running at that point,
There's a fight, is it? Yeah.
Disclosure.
There's a fight. And there's a fight going on, right? So I think what we see, I think Danny Sheehan and Basset and all these activists, try to go this route and to make it legal and say we'll give you immunity and blah blah blah, right? Because they did protect them.
I mean, short of someone going completely rogue and just releasing stuff, which fingers crossed, baby.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, my first thought was like, man, that'd be cool. My second thought is, oh, no one's gonna believe it because the whole whole propaganda thing will go into overdrive. If you believe if you believe in aliens, you're a racist bigot. You're sexist, racist, and speciesist.
But maybe it's a good thing that the government doesn't officially do it because everyone else gets a psyop. So if
it's not a good thing if the ones holding all the cards.
Yeah,
it's like playing Monopoly with the guy who says, "Oh, I'll be the bank," and then they get to decide when to give you money.
Yeah. And they get to decide what the price is on things too. So they could just completely price you out of the market.
I watched 2 really bad movies this week because you know me this weekend. Excuse me. 2 really bad movies. One was called. It's on Netflix. It's being promoted really heavily. It's got Julia Roberts in it. It's called Get Away from Everyone or something. Hold on a second.
Get Away from it. Okay, that sounds familiar.
Oh no, it's called Leave the World Behind. See, I was really close. Anyway, it had so much potential and it just sucked. Don't watch that movie. It sucked.
All right.
And then I watched High Life, which wasn't bad. It was just weird. That's got Robert Pattinson in it, and the movie isn't told in order, and so it's a little hard. But I bring that up because he's not a space trucker, but he's in a giant spaceship that's not hurtling, slowly moving towards a black hole, and he just has to kind of like hang out on this ship and raise his daughter, and it's just a really weird. It was like 2.5 hours. It was super slow, and by the end, I was like, that felt like it could have been cut down significantly.
Man, so many movies like that. Did you watch Dune, the new one?
Oh, I thought Dune was fantastic.
Wasn't it really slow though? Yeah, it did get big, but man, it was excruciatingly slow.
I don't know. I was there for it. I had no problem with the length. I didn't think it moved slow at all. That's just that's my personal opinion.
Once it started getting good, I forgot about all that. But I remember like I would never bring someone to watch it if they're not into sci-fi or something. Is what I'm saying. Like it's not for people who are just like normal moviegoers or
it's not a Star Wars, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And the new one's supposed to be coming out soon, right?
Yeah, it's part 2 of the first book.
And that's this summer, I think.
I'm still a sucker for the early 90s Dune.
You like that one? Oh my god!
Oh my god, I love it. It's so weird. It's perfect.
Brain, it's so weird. It's the guy who did Twin Peaks. He won't even talk about it.
What the hell's his name?
That's the mic, dude. The mic's on. I don't know.
I know.
Sorry.
But yeah,
the curse of the open mic.
They bring like the very first scene is the Space Guild meeting with the Emperor, and it's that giant worm thing. It's oh my god!
So funny,
as soon as I
dude.
saw that, I was like, hell yeah!
I was like, what is this thing?
Oh my,
David Lynch.
David Lynch. That whole movie, I don't do drugs, but I wish I could have dropped acid the first time I'd seen that movie. I felt like that's what, and he's like, and the bad guy, the big fat bad guy, is like flying around on the sand, like,
oh my god, dude, it was so bad.
I love that movie. I love it.
It's so dated too.
But seriously,
but yeah, I mean, this one's so much better.
But go watch For All Mankind. If you're only 2 episodes in, you haven't seen anything. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, keep watching it. It's really good. Don't watch Invasion. That show sucks. It is the slowest piece of garbage.
Is it Apple TV too?
Yeah. Now I'm just going through TV shows. Severance, that show is fantastic. Season 2 comes out early next year.
Okay.
I highly recommend Severance. I recommended it to my brother, who has a very different taste in movies and TV than I do, and he loved it.
Really? Severance. Yeah. It's more as a corporate, obviously. Yeah, Severance.
Yeah, it's well, if I explain any of the plot, it'll give it away. It's about a guy who works at a corporation. Let's just leave it at that.
Right. Okay. That's Severance.
But put that on your list. That one's good.
Okay. Nice. Will do.
And that's it for Topher's Movie Corner for the week.
I love it.
I'll keep watching all the bad sci-fi and horror movies and recommend
let us
them.
know. Yeah, let us know which ones to watch and not to even touch.
Yeah, that's typically how my nights end, where I'm going, okay, I've done everything I needed to get done today. Let's put on a movie. Season 2 of Reacher comes out next week. Looking forward to that. Reacher. It's based on a book series by Lee Child. My parents like that show even.
No, really?
It's good. Yeah, it's really good. It's about this guy. It doesn't matter. But that's like spy thriller stuff. That's not sci-fi or horror at all.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
But
so that really is the
still fun.
ending of Topher's Movie TV Show Corner.
Thank you for that update. Maybe we should have it every week.
I'm gonna start. I'm looking at my bookshelf because I read a couple books. Oh, I read Them by Whitley Strieber. That was pretty good. Oh, and also while I was in rehab, so I hadn't finished Communion. I brought Them, and I brought Viva Vendetta.
Okay.
and I read. I
V for
finished
Vendetta. I would love that. It's
It's
the
a
graphic novel, right?
graphic novel. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. Truthfully, I think the movie's a little bit better, but that's because I struggle with the comic book format.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I finished Communion, and I knew it was good, and I just had it sitting aside, mostly because I was super drunk and couldn't remember anything what I was reading. So I stopped reading. I finished it in rehab, and I gave it to someone I became friends with in rehab. And he said he couldn't put it down, and he was almost done with it the day I left. So I never got it back, but I left him.
Oh man.
It was like $15 on what's it called on Amazon. I told him you
Still
can
though.
do whatever you want with it. Hopefully you pass it along to someone else who's just as interested.
All right.
And then I read Them by Whitley Strieber as well, and that was really good.
He's a great writer. Excellent
Yeah.
writer. Yeah, he's always been really good.
Absolutely. Also, in case people don't know, there is a Fight Club 2 and a Fight Club 3. They are both comic books. I've only read Fight Club 2. It is awful. I haven't even read 3. 2 was
They're
so
both
bad.
comic books. Is it the same writer?
Yeah, it's the guy who wrote the original Fight Club, the book.
What? And they suck, huh?
They're just weird, man. It wasn't
Oh.
good.
Yeah. I did not know that. I did not know that. That's cool.
Oh, and then also I picked up this little book called The Electric State, which is also it's really out there, but it's good. It's not a comic book, but it's hard to explain. It's not a lot of reading, but it's a lot of really,
Well, I mean,
it's a lot of really cool pictures.
we live in an electric universe, and Walter Russell has probably one of the best books on that. And he has great diagrams too about electricity, about matter, about light, the material world, God, all these and all the different elements. Very cool stuff.
Nice.
Reminds me of that.
I also have the Zombie Survival Guide and World War Z, both the same author. Can't remember his name. Great books, and that has been Topher's Book Corner.
All right, thanks for that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. This is a long episode. I'm just trying to get it even. This might be our longest one. I was trying to hit that record.
Oh, I think no, we got closer to 2 hours before, like an hour and 50, something like that.
We can introduce a video game corner if you're interested.
124, 148. That was UFO Disclosure Continues. That was the longest one. 2 hours and 1 minute. UFOs Unite Us All, episode 36. Yep,
Man.
2 hours, 1 minute.
49.
Another one, 2 hours, 1 minute, episode 33.
Hey, can you see what we must be a year old because there's 52 weeks in a year. We're at episode 49, and I know we've skipped weeks here and there. We must be over a year old at this point.
We are. Oh my God, we are. Dude, what's wrong with it? So October 12th, 2022 was our first episode.
I missed it by a few months, but all right.
October 12th. So we're 14 months old.
That's so cool.
I know, man. It's.
I can't believe we've been doing this long.
We're serious. We're a serious podcast now.
Yeah. If you do something for more than a year, you're serious about it.
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. Even when they say like whatever it is, any regimen you do, anything like that, when they say like do 3 months, 4 months, no. What I've noticed, it takes at least a year if you want to see any change or anything that works. I guess you just have to go around the sun once, one revolution.
Yeah, see, that's a long time. Rehab, it's a different situation, obviously, but they always said 90 days. The first 30 is getting rid of your old habits while creating new ones. The second the second 30 is maintaining those new habits, and the 90 is making adjustments as needed.
Nice. Do they still do the 12 steps?
Oh my God, they are obsessed with the 12 steps. Yeah.
Because it works.
Well, yeah, I mean, AA is not my jam for those people who know what that is. Alcoholics Anonymous. Very, very faith focused. I've been doing SMART meetings, which is more science based, and I like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
so you can choose.
Yeah. Oh, and there's Dharma. That's like Buddhism based. There's a lot of different programs that work for different people. I wish I had known that. Not known that. I wish I had tried a little harder to explore last time I went to rehab. Anyway, now I know. Lesson learned. So on that fun note, this has been the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. That is I Want to Believe Adam.
Hey, episode 49.
Episode 49. I'm Tippity Toppity Topher. And just a reminder, everything we've talked about in the show today will be listed in the show notes. I don't think those were listed on the Apple podcast. Isn't that what you're? Oh, maybe it's YouTube.
It is even on YouTube now works, but Apple for some reason won't have the links. So it won't have the links that you have to click through, but they do have a link to the podcast on Spotify. So at the end of Apple, at the end of the description, it'll say, give us the URL for the episode. You click on that, you'll have all the links to the show notes too.
And for some of our less tech savvy users who might be on Spotify, Mom, there's a little button that says more below the episode. And if you click that, it drops down and shows you all the different links.
Exactly. And on YouTube, we'll have those links as well. You can follow us on all podcasting platforms. We're the Uncovering Anomalies Podcast. We're on YouTube at Uncovering Anomalies Podcast. We're on Rumble at UAP Podcast. Where else are we at? Oh, Twitter, of course. You can follow us on Twitter at UAP the podcast. At X, yes, formerly Twitter. You can follow Topher at Topher et al. And you can follow me at Breakaway Civil.
Yes.
I think it's about it.
Yeah,
that does it.
Yeah, I had something to say, and I don't remember. Oh, there! I've already got 3 new ideas for new podcasts when we open up our studio. Tippity Toppity Topher's Book Corner, Tippity Toppity Topher's Movie Corner /
Movie
TV
Corner. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Tippity Toppity Topher's Video Game Corner. And I'll just talk about that
video
stuff.
game. All right.
And I'll just talk about that stuff so it doesn't take up time on the show.
Well, I mean, if we're definitely doing that, we have a studio. It could be on different days, Tippity Toppity is the book corner, and those could be different. Absolutely, man. And you're gonna go through the agony of watching all those movies, no matter what, and then letting us know which ones deserve our time and which ones don't.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. I love sci-fi, I love horror, and I love fantasy, and it's kind of niche. And sometimes you're scrolling through Amazon or Netflix or Hulu, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know what I think about this. What does Tippity Toppity Topher say?" And then you go to me, and I say, "Don't bother." 6 out of 10, or else something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all so much for your patience and sticking with us. We're so happy to have you listening.
Yes, thank you for listening. Don't forget to support us,
please.
Next
I
week.
want that studio.